Niddah Daf Lamed Hey, we have amazing sugis today. We're starting out with 3 halachas. A person that's about carry, he's only told me if he touches it, but not if he lifts the carry, b'maga and not b'masa. A person who's a zav, but the second sighting, the second riyah, he's tamei b'masa. And a person who's a metzoira, his mayanos, his fluids, his spit, and his meraglaim are metame b'masa. The Gemara wonders, what if you combine the two things? You have a metzoira who's a zav, his first sighting is a metame b'masa. The question is whether or not the ziv is considered something that's a mayon, that it gathers in the body like spit that gathers in the mouth and then comes out, or it's like dam that just flows out of the guf. Says Rav, I have a proof from a pasuk. It's an amazing proof. It says in the pasuk that a zav is tamei, and that pasuk is talking about the second re'iyah. Now, says Rav, it can't be that the pasuk is talking about a regular zav. It must be talking about a zav that's a mitzayra. And since the pasuk is saying that the second re'iyah, he's metame b'masa, obviously the first re'iyah, he's not metame b'masa. Now, how does Rav know the pasuk is talking about a zav that's a mitzayra? The answer is because he has a kal v'chomer. If a regular zav is metama el yoinish zav, he's metama his clothing that's upon him, so certainly if he lifts the source of the tumah itself, certainly he should become tamei. Says Rabbi Yehuda midiskarta, that's not a good raya. Because there's another case, an example in the Torah, where a person who throws the goat off the cliff, the Sorya Mishtalech, Ayim Kippur, he becomes tamei from touching the goat, but the goat himself is not tamei. So you see that the source doesn't necessarily have to have tumah. The carry could be not metama, but the person handling it is tamei. Abaye says, wait a minute. Rabbi Yosef is the one that asked the question. Rabbi Yosef has an extra lazachar, and from there you see that a metzoira, his mayanos are like a zav gomor, and a zav gomor means that a zav who had 2 re'iyos, he has to count Shiva Nakim, and therefore even a Metzoira who saw 1 Ziva is like a Zav Gomor, and he's completely Tamei B'masa. Now, when a Zav sees his second Re'iyah, it cannot be Me'oinus. It can't have human intervention, it can't come from stimulus. Says Rav Huna, but the first Re'iyah of a Zav is different. Because the Torah says, Zois Torah Hazav, Vasher Teitzim Mimeno Shikva Zera. The Torah compares the ziva, the first ziva, to shikva zera. And shikva zera, even on the first re'iyah, can happen even ma'oinus. It has to happen ma'oinus. Every shikva zera, every carry comes from human intervention, and therefore the first ziva is also ma'oinus. There's a Mishnah in Masechet Zavim that says that you check a zav with 7 ways to see what type of ziva it was. And the Mishnah goes on to say you check him in the first riyah, the second riyah, and the third riyah. Now, how does it fit in here? Well, the first riyah, we must say, we're only checking him to see if it's a good enough riyah that it can combine with the second and third riyah to bring a carbon. The second riyah, we check him, not only to bring a carbon, but also to see if he's tamei at all. Because if it happened me'oinus, the pasuk says mipsarai, the second riyah cannot be me'oinus. And in the third riyah, according to everybody, we check him to see if there's a carbon. But there's machlokes Rabbi Eliezer and Chacham. The pasuk says, Hazav es zoivai, that's 3 words. Rabbi Eliezer says we darshan the middle word es. We always darshan es in Shabbat Torah. So you have 3 re'iyos. Hazav es zoivai is 3 re'iyos. All those 3 re'iyos are vila zachar, you treat him as a zachar, meaning that oines is not tamei. But the 4th re'iyah is vila nekeva. He becomes like a nekeva. In other words, that the re'iyah cannot be even ma'oines, he's tamei, meaning that if he's counting 7 days, that re'iyah will ruin it. It's so yisr, and he has to restart his 7-day count, even though it is ba'inus. What is ziva? The Gemara describes it as water that comes from the dough of barley. That's what it looks like. It's very thin, not like zera. It doesn't stick like zera. And it's similar to the egg white of a spoiled egg. We learned in the Mishnah that if a woman gave birth, and after the days of Tumah, she could have gone to the mikvah, but she didn't go to the mikvah. Beis Shammai say that she's only tamei b'derabbanan, exer derabbanan, moist dam. And Beis Hillel say she's completely tamei b'deraisa. So what's the machlekes? What's the back and forth? The Gemara brings that Beis Hillel told Beis Shammai, don't you agree to us that if a woman was a niddah and she didn't go to the mikvah when she could have gone, and on day 8 she sees dam, don't you agree that she's tamei, that this dam is tamei? So Beis Shammai, that's not a good raya, because a woman who's a niddah who went to the mikvah and then she saw dam after she came out of the mikvah, she would be completely tamei. But over here we're dealing with a Yuledes. Had she gone to the mikvah, she would be completely tar if she was seen dam. So therefore, now that she sees dam and she didn't go to the mikvah, she remains tar. And they still bring a raya from a Yuledes Bezoiv, a woman who saw in the 11-day period of Ziva, she saw 3 days in a row, she became a Zava G'doila, and then with no connection to that Ziva, she gave birth. So not only does she have to wait her days of Tumah, 7 days for a boy, 14 days for a girl, in addition to that, she has to wait 7 days Naki. Don't you agree with us, say Beis Hillel, that if she sees dam after those 7 days, that she's tamei? Say Beis Shammai, no. In that we also argue, she would be tar. So then why did Beis Shammai agree to Beis Hillel in the Mishnah in this exact case? They only agreed in a case where during the 7 days of Sfira, that's when she saw the dam. And that Midaraisa Beis Shammai will agree to Beis Hillel that that blood is completely tamei, even dry blood is tamei. But once those 7 days are over, now she went into Tahara period. She could go to the mikvah, but she didn't. So her dam is completely tar, say Beis Shammai. What's the machloikas? What's the reason that a woman who's tamei completely for 7 days, all of a sudden she has 33 days of tahara if she gave birth to a boy, and 66 days of tahara if she gave birth to a girl after 14 days? Machloikas, amazing machloikas between Rav and Levi. Rav says that the source of the dam is the same exact source. Nothing changed. Only thing that changed is Gzeres HaKasa, the Torah changed. The Torah says from this day on, completely tar. Levi says no, it's something physical. The source changed. The reason behind the dam changed. Tremendous nafkamina. What if the dam kept on flowing from day 7 into day 8? If you say that it's Gzeres HaKasa, the Torah turns it on and off, then it doesn't matter if it continues to flow. The Torah turned it off on day 8, it's completely tar. But if you say it's something physical, well, you see the body didn't change. It's one flow. So therefore, whatever the status was before, it would continue into the next day through that flow. So if she was tamei before, she would continue to be tamei afterwards. And if she was tar before, let's say it flowed from day 40 into day 41. Day 40, she's completely tar. But it continued flowing to day 41. Since it's the same flow, she would continue to be tar according to Levi. But according to Rav, she would be tamei because the Torah switches it on and switches it off. The Gemara asks questions both ways. It says in the Mishnah, the case we just had, that a woman who gave birth and didn't go to the mikvah, according to Beis Hillel, she's completely tamei. How do you explain that? If the Torah turns it on and off, why is she completely tamei? The answer is because it continued flowing into the following day. But Beis Shammai will explain that in fact, Levi would admit that Beis Shammai hold like Rav, that it's one mayon, it's one source, and therefore they hold once you get to the days of Tahara, the Torah turned it off. She's completely tar. But they say that Midrabanan, where you geyser and you give her dam, if it's lach, if it's moist, she is tamei. Have a wonderful day.